Kelly Madrid. Today's date is November 30th, 2019, and this is week 5 lab biochemical testing for microbial identification, carbohydrate fermentation testing. So in this week's lab, gathered my supplies. As you can see, I have my 6 tubes of the fennel red broth, and then I have my 2 active cultures, which is the S. epidermidis and the S. cerevisiae, and then I have my glucose, fructose, and then my mannitol. And then I have my 6 tubes that I will be putting in the fennel red tubes, and then I have my alcohol with my pipettes. So with these 6 tubes, I have them labeled 2 tubes number 1, 2 tubes number 2, and 2 tubes number 3. Number 1 will be glucose fermentation, number 2 will be fructose fermentation, and then number 3 will be mannitol fermentation. Each tube, so since glucose has 2 tubes, 1 tube is already labeled cerevisiae and then epidermidis. So I'll be using 2 different cultures for each fermentation process, okay? So I'm gonna start off and then get my epidermidis glucose, tube number 1. And what I'm gonna do, actually before I open that, no, I'll open it. Open it, and I'm gonna just light up the lid just to sterilize it, okay? It's gonna be very quick. There we are. And I'll put this. Okay, so then now I'm gonna get glucose. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop half of this powder into the epidermidis tube, okay? So this is kind of hard. I'm probably gonna have a little trouble with this, to tell you the truth. Okay, dropped a little. I think I can drop a little more. All right, there you are. As you can see, I still have glucose right here, okay? This I'll be using for the other tube. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, gonna light this lip up again, put the cap on it, and I'm gonna shake it until I don't see the glucose powder anymore, okay? It's gonna get a little bubbly, which is fine. I just don't wanna see any more of that powder. So this is the epidermidis. Sorry. Trying to multitask. Okay. So I don't see the powder anymore. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open this up, relight the lid so it can be sterilized. And then now I'm gonna get one of these tubes right here. These tubes have been soaked in alcohol already. I just left them out so they can dry. So I'll be getting 1 tube and just placing it in here. I'm gonna light the lid again. I'm just checking it doesn't have any bubbles in the tubing. So the open side goes face down, which I did, and there's nothing on there, okay? Just gonna cover it, make sure. Yep, and we're good. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, open this back up. I'm gonna light this, re-sterilize it. Place it down here, make sure it's not touching anything. Then I'm gonna get my S. epidermidis culture. What I'm gonna do is open it if I can, and then light the lid. Re-sterilizing everything, okay? I'm gonna get one of my pipettes that's been sitting in alcohol, making sure all that alcohol's off. So now what I'm gonna do, make sure all this alcohol's off. I'm gonna put it in here sterilely and then get some of that cerevisiae, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is relight it, and I'm gonna just cover this up, okay? Don't want anything to be exposed. Now I'm gonna get this too. Actually, since it's been sitting out there for a little bit, I'll relight it again. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is drop this too. 4 drops. 1, 2. See, that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, drop this pipette right here. I'm gonna cover this. And then this will be ready for incubation. Now the same steps that I did for glucose, I'll be doing it for the S. cerevisiae with glucose, fructose, and mannitol, and I'm gonna finish the steps with the S. epidermidis with fructose and mannitol. Then I'm gonna put it in my incubation center and then let it sit for at least 12 hours and do my observations. Thank you.